could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run. The night goes on as I'm fading away.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle.
This week, we're taking a look at all those times Hasbro got things wrong. Oh, so very, very wrong.
But before we start, I have to emphasize, this list will deal with things that I personally have experience with.
That means you won't see anything related to, I don't know, Littlest Pet Shop or My Little Pony or things like that, since I have no interest in those toys. Hey, if you're a My Little Pony fan, more power to you, it's just not my thing.
With that said, let's find out just in how many ways Hasbro has managed to screw up.
Number 8. Hascon. Maybe. Probably.
Okay, so this thing hasn't actually happened yet at the time this video is being made, that's why it's the lowest on the list, but still...
Hasbro is creating its own convention. A convention that focuses on all its brands, so that means it has no focus at all. And if you only like G.I.Joe or Transformers or Nerf or something, then most of the convention won't interest you. Yeah, paying $60 for a ticket to something that is 90% about stuff you have no interest in, that's a waste.
Did I say $60?
Because you could also pay $600 to get a VIP ticket. $600. I could buy 600 Raptors for that amount of money.
I mean, I'm not gonna, but I could.
Also, an important part of a convention, for me at least, is the dealer's room. Hascon doesn't really seem to have one, not for G.I. Joe anyway. Oh, there are exhibitors, but an exhibitor's booth would cost you $1,000. That's more than twice as much as I've seen at other cons.
Overall, I can see Hascon ending up as a huge disappointment.
Number 7. G.I. Joe the Movie.
Do I really need to say anything else?
It had a great opening theme, and then it all went to hell. Cobra Commander being from a race of bug people from the Himalayas, racial stereotypes,
and of course, this.
Cobra,
I already did a video on this, links in the description, feel free to check it out. But we're not done with movies, and not by a long shot. Number 6. Battleship the Movie. They turned the board game Battleship into a movie. A terrible movie. It's basically Transformers without Transformers in it. And it had Liam Neeson, but didn't let Liam Neeson kick any ass.
That's a waste of a good Liam Neeson.
Also, it bombed at the box office and only made its money back because of foreign markets. Thank you very much, China.
I mean, they tried to make a movie about a board game. What's next? Play-Doh the movie?
Son of a bitch, I was kidding! Number 5. The 1997 Stars and Stripes Forever set.
In 1997, Hasbro had a good idea.
To honor the 15th anniversary of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, they'd release a set commemorating the original 1982 Joe team. It would have superior plastic quality and superior paint applications. It would be a true love letter to the fans.
Then they ran into a problem. Well, several problems. Well, okay, all of the problems.
First of all, it would be a set of just 8 figures, not the original 15. Second, Hasbro discovered many original toy molds were lost, broken, or used by other companies. Flash and Grand Slam's torsos were gone, so they were out, and Steeler and Clutch's were gone too, with the added problem of Clutch's head being missing. You know, the same head they used for Rock'n'Roll and Breaker. So those two characters got completely different bodies, Frankenstein together from other parts.
They looked like crap!
Plus, on all of the figures, the new paint applications were of worse quality than the originals, and the plastic used was cheap and flimsy.
It was a disaster.
The toys included looked nothing like the ones on their own bloody box, and oh yeah, for the rotten cherry on this feces-filled Sunday, the American flag included in the set had 56 stars. For my non-American viewers, the US flag has 50 stars on it, one for each of the states.
You heard that right. In a set that's called Stars and Stripes Forever, they got the bloody Stars and Stripes wrong!
Number 4. Not having an enemy for G.I. Joe. Oh yeah, Cobra didn't exist when Hasbro thought up G.I. Joe a real American hero. Marvel, who were working on creating the G.I. Joe comic, had to convince them that maybe the Joe should have, I don't know, somebody to shoot at. That's also why Cobra is somewhat similar to Hydra, as it was essentially a Marvel invention. But yeah, just think of it. If it had been up to Hasbro, the Joes would have had nobody to fight. Number 3. So much bandwagoning.
It seems original ideas are rare for Hasbro. As soon as they see something become popular, you can be sure they're gonna try to get in on it.
Jurassic Park is a hit. Here's G.I. Joe fighting dinosaurs. Captain Planet? Have some eco-warriors. Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles are eating Hasbro's lunch with martial arts? Have all the ninjas in the world!
And it's not just G.I. Joe!
The Hunger Games gave us Katniss Everdeen, and all of a sudden, Nerf gets bows targeted at girls.
That last one annoys me.
It's only because of the Hunger Games movies that they started marketing towards girls. It should have happened much sooner. Girls want to kick ass just as much as boys, but Hasbro needed a movie franchise to show them that first. As for the other examples, why would people choose Hasbro knockoffs of the actual concepts? Kids would want the Jurassic Park T-Rex under the Christmas tree, not whatever the hell Dino Hunters was.
And Hasbro, try having an original idea every once in a while, would you?
And number 2, copyright and trademark losses.
Hasbro sucks at keeping copyrights and trademarks up to date.
They lose them more often than San Marino loses soccer matches.
Hey, that's a funny joke if you're Italian, or if you follow a hell of a lot of soccer.
And that's why, when the G.I. Joe toy line was revived in the new millennium, we got such gems as General Tomahawk instead of General Hawk, Agent Courtney Krieger instead of CoverGirl, Dataframe instead of Mainframe, and worst of all, Chameleon instead of Baroness. Even going so far as inventing a bullcrap story, this is the real Baroness's sister.
And it keeps happening!
In 2016, I found out Hasbro lost a trademark to Knowing is Half the Battle.
Just pay a guy to keep an eye on your copyrights and trademarks already.
And the number 1 Hasbro screw-up is... Transformers: The Massacre. Let me paint you a picture. It was the mid-80s. Hasbro was at the height of boys' toys. Thanks to the cartoons and comics, they had gotten kids invested in many colorful characters they had created. It was basically a toy company's wet dream. They had a loyal audience who had formed attachments to freaking action figures.
And then what happened?
No! Such heroic nonsense.
The wholesale slaughter of popular characters because they needed to introduce new toys.
Kids were crying in the theaters, for crying out loud.
You can't have your cake and eat it too like this. You can't have wildly popular characters and kill them off willy-nilly to promote new toys. Especially when one of the new characters is freaking Wheelie.
Friend find, look behind. You go wrong way,
Hasbro completely misread their audience here. It's their biggest screw up by far, and they bloody knew it because they changed G.I. Joe the movie in post-production so Duke went into a coma instead of dying as was the original intention. So I guess there's no blood on Hasbro's hands, but there is an awful lot of oil.
And those were my top 8 Hasbro screw-ups. If you know of any more, leave them in the comments below. Well, see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?
How could this